Welcome back to the Melanated Opinion. I'm Shanita.
I'm Crystal.
I'm Takara.
And I'm Melissa.
And today we got a good topic. It's entitled self-care. And so often, a lot of people think self-care is just, you got your robe on with the cucumbers and the head rag. But I want to get y'all opinions on what are some things that y'all do for self-care and how have it impacted you for the better, or did you stick with it, or you kind of gave up on it?
So I'll go first. So for me, for self-care, I want to say last year on my birthday, I started getting massages. And I was like, I had never gotten a massage ever in my life, but I was like, I can afford it financially and it's not breaking me. Why not just do it and treat myself? And so I went there, and because it was a special, so it was still kind of like, I'm saving money. So I felt better about it. But I got it. It was wonderful. It was relaxing. Like, it was one of the best things ever. And then as I was leaving, the mom was like, so we have a special since you just came in and it's your first time. You could get
They
one.
always have a special.
Right.
Yeah.
One free a month if I pay a certain amount. And if I don't use it, it rolls over to the next month. So I can do 2 in a month, or I can let it build up however I want to do it. So it's like, okay. So I did that probably for about like 6 months, and I loved it. I felt like I was taking care of me. And I was like, yeah, this is okay. It's okay for me to keep doing this. So I did, and I loved it. And I would suggest anybody, like, if you haven't had one that sounds like something you may want to do, have it. It's because it's worth it.
I absolutely love massages. I have a question. Were you sore like afterwards the first time?
The first time I wasn't, but there was a time when I was, because the guy was a little harder than what I wanted. And also, I think if you have like a kink that's hard to get out, then they'll try harder. So you'll be sore in that area too. So I think it's who doing it, as far as like how hard it is.
They always tell me, you too tight. Then the man be on the board like, oh, you need to come back regular.
Yes, exactly. And then when a man does it instead of a female, it's kind of like, I told you how hard or soft I wanted. Let's take that down some, because you are doing more than what I was saying, because that's not what I wanted. I want to relax. I don't want to feel like I'm in pain.
All right.
Yeah. So what are y'all?
So for me, my self-care thing is just literally having a moment to myself. I have a 4-year-old. Okay. So anytime where I can like sit and either really like scroll on my phone uninterrupted, or sit down and watch a show or something that I really enjoy, for me, that's self-care.
Okay. How often do you do it?
So probably like once a week, maybe like once during the week when she, after she goes to bed or something like that. But I also this summer did like a spa day. Like I just went by myself and I was like, give me all you got. And so I did a massage, and I did a facial and something else. And of course they had packages. I didn't sign up for them. But it was a good day. Like, you went in, like you said, you put on the robe. They're playing all the, like really mellow music. It really makes you kind of want to take a nap. But it was really nice to just be able to do that for myself.
Good for you.
And I would say a couple of things, or a couple of ways to, have a self-care day, or just, a way of self-care would be, for one, journaling. Because I feel like, just getting your thoughts out, just being able to write it down. Like, you could be under stress, you may have anxiety, whatever it may be, but that definitely will help actually getting your thoughts out, not being in your head. Another thing I would say is, and this what helped for me, like I consider this self-care, is actually creating boundaries and telling people no. When I tell you that changed my life, it changed my life. Okay. It's just like, when I didn't feel like doing anything, and I was like, I didn't want them to like not like me, or just be upset with me, even though I'm tired. I just came from work. Like, it could be anything. And I kept saying yes to people. So when I started changing that, that actually helped a lot.
That's good. For me, I like to, I don't know, it's something about water that just calms me. So anytime I'm feeling like overwhelmed or stressed out, like I would go to this certain spot and just sit in silence and just look at the water. And for however long it takes or whatever, and it just, I don't know, I just feel relaxed. But since that little spot has been um going through some changes, I gotta find me a new spot. But what I have started doing, I am glued to my phone all day, every day. It got to the point where I'm just strolling, clicking on apps. I'm not really looking at anything. It's just you just opening it up. So what I do once I did everything I have done for the day, come home and I'll put my phone in another room, leave it on the charger because it's about dead anyway. And I will watch movies or read a book, or like Melissa said, I will journal a little bit. And that is the time. So whatever somebody has going on, they will just have to deal with it, until I finish, because I never take time for myself. So for me, that's a big step, being able to disconnect from my phone for a long period of time. So those are all good. And I actually found this article. It was on the healthcoachinstitute.com. And surprisingly, they say that it's 7 types of self-care and why you need them. It was some articles I saw where they had up to 8, or some just only mentioned 5, but Melissa kind of hit it on the nail. They have emotional self-care, and that is the actions that we take to connect with our emotions and process them in a healthy way. And the examples was journaling, talking to a health coach, utilizing affirmations, meditation, anything like that. And then physical self-care is any activities that you deliberately engage in to enhance your physical well-being. So that's like going for a walk, exercising, getting a massage, taking a nap, just relaxing, or even dancing. And then mental self-care, which is different from emotional. Mental will be you listening to podcasts like us, trying a new hobby, going to a museum, reading a book, writing a poem. And then you have social self-care, which I feel like a lot of us didn't get that during the pandemic, because social self-care is activities that nurture us through our relationships with others. So it's like scheduling a regular phone call, hosting a game night with your friends, going on a date with your boo, cuddling, or anything like that. And then you have spiritual self-care. And I know some people think that's just religion, but it's not really just religion. Spiritual self-care is any activities that you engage in to connect with and nurture your soul, meaning spending time in nature, engaging in prayer or attending a worship service, doing yoga, creating a vision board, or doing something that just lights you up and inspires you. And then I think I have 2 more. Practical self-care, that's any actions that you take to fulfill your care needs and reduce stress. And this can be like organizing your email box, tidying your living space, meal prepping, anything like that. And then professional, basically this is just, you spending time with coworkers, or you setting a calendar reminder to do things, and setting your phone on do not disturb. So anything like that. So just make sure that you kind of incorporate some of all of them to be able to give yourself a balance. And I think that helps. So do y'all do any of those and you didn't know that was self-care?
Yeah, like I tried water aerobics this summer, and I didn't look at that like it was self-care. It was kind of like, it was like water, and why not just exercise while I'm doing it? So it's kind of like, hey, why not? But now it's like, well, that's a form of self-care. So yeah.
Because it made you feel better. And then of course, if we feel better about our looks, we even, emotionally, and of course, we're gonna go out a little bit more.
So one thing I actually do a lot of is listen to podcasts. I listen to them on the way to work, on the way home, while I'm at work. I don't listen to ones that are like calming or soothing. I like to listen to like true crime, which actually probably makes me a little anxious or paranoid, but I still love them. So I guess that's one thing that I do that I didn't realize was self-care.
So what is the true crime podcast?
So those are ones where they're talking about like where people have like committed murders and or like unsolved crimes. It gives the backstories on them.
Oh, like the first 48 hours or something?
Something like that. Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know they had those.
Oh, there's a ton of them. Whenever you're ready, I can give you a whole list.
Okay, but I don't need to be scared. I know I listened to what was it? I think it was Unsolved Mysteries. And what happened was the guy was hiding in the girl bedroom. So every time I come home now, I have to open up my closet doors to make sure, because she went to bed without knowing he was in there. And so they were just like, he killed her, he left, and of course nobody knew who it was.
So many stories like that. So many.
Yeah,
but I do. I don't know why.
I leave all the doors in my like apartment open, except for the front door. Closet doors open like all day.
Really?
Linen closet doors open all day. Melissa's like, why is this door always open?
Yeah, I don't do open doors at all. I don't
Really?
No.
See, I have to have one, my closet door in my bedroom, I have to have one open. The other one, you gonna make a whole lot of noise if you stuck in there. First of all, you're not gonna get in that closet. But like my bedroom door has to be locked, because I'm like, you gonna have to go through some trouble if you gonna get me. But other than that, I don't know. I don't like my shower curtain closed because I be thinking somebody's gonna be behind it. So yeah, that stays open. But I guess that's not really self-care. Well, it is mental.
Yeah, because you feel safer.
Right.
Yep. Melissa, did you have any from that list?
Oh.
Yes, I would say I'm just like Mr. Carr. I love listening to podcasts. It's not true crime though, because like she said, she'd be a little anxious. I can't do it. I'm too paranoid for that. I'm way too paranoid. But I listen to like a lot of motivational ones. When I tell you, when I'm done listening to them, I just be like, wow, what am I doing? Let me get this together. Like it really makes me like
motivate you.
Listen, yes.
Okay. Well, those are all good topics. Crystal, you have?
Well, I mean, but did you say from the list what you like thought about that?
From the list?
Yeah.
Yes. The podcast, I guess I never thought about the podcast. For me, I listen to a lot of budgeting ones about finance. I actually just started listening to some that makes me laugh. Because once I read the list, I didn't ever think about that. Like, I'm always in a serious mode, but have something that is gonna make you laugh and just, feel more cheerful. So I have started incorporating a couple of ones that are a little bit funnier. Let me see, what else? I did meal prep once upon a time until we moved offices. So I do want to incorporate that back. I have been trying to separate myself and organize at work, because I'm always getting bombarded with emails or people coming to my desk. So now it's kind of like I'm starting to say, okay, this is the time that I need for me, but then I still incorporate time to spend with them. And that way I'm still getting the balance of professional as well.
Yeah. So also for me, I am big on like making sure my email inbox is either like, I cannot open it and look at 100 new unread emails. I cannot. It's overwhelming to me. Even like if it's on my phone or even with work, like I either have to address it, or like if it's addressed, file it away. I cannot look at it. So for me, that is a self-care thing. Or like an OCD thing. I don't know the difference.
I have 126,625 unread messages.
Wait, what?
That's personal. That's personal.
Yeah, that's like mine too. Like I know it's just there. I feel like I don't have to read it. It doesn't like
right. It's spam, too much,
but it's not really spam. But it's like reading it.
And once you get behind, it's hard to go in there and be having to click and delete. I try, but it's too many.
No, I have a coworker, and like we'll be sitting there, and he'll open his phone, and I'll see, because there's an icon, and it says 1,000 and. Oh my God! How do you function in life? You would have a complete and total meltdown.
Yeah, you like, if it's important enough, they'd have my phone number and they'll call with the number that I recognize.
But do you have unopened voicemails too?
Yeah.
If I don't recognize the number, I mean,
I have 27. So that's a little bit better. But see, I think what happens is with Apple, it's like you can click on it and some of it will tell you what the person is saying. So if you're not really saying anything that they are prescribed, subscribing, I'm not gonna listen to it.
Yep. But you don't delete it?
Oh, I don't know.
It's like that click and delete is too much work or something.
Right.
But y'all want to know something? Like, I would say first, a couple years ago, I looked at self-care as like being selfish. Is like, I would say I'm going to be more selfish because it's kind of like, it's like, why would I tell somebody I can't help them or can't do something when I really can? But, you know, it's kind of selfish of me not to. So in my mind, I would say, I'm going to be more selfish. I'm going to be more selfish because that's what I really truly felt. But now the more I look at it, it's more like, well, it's not selfish. It's just put me before them. Like, if I couldn't do it, then how are they going to get it done? Like, they would have to get somebody else to do it anyway. So stop thinking, I don't want to say playing God, but I'm their savior or whatever. Like, they'll find a way to do it. It's not my responsibility to help them or do whatever it is that they ask me to do. So I think learning that I'm not responsible for other people help me look at self-care differently. I'm only responsible for myself. You know, if you have like small kids or kids or whatever, you're responsible for them. But outside of that, there's absolutely nobody else that you are responsible for in the world. And that helped me be like, yeah, this self-care, like I really truly need it so I can be the best me.
And it's funny that you said that because that's how I look at it now. And you said you used to look at it as being selfish, but I look at it now as being selfish because I'm like you, it's hard for me to tell people no or, you know, put myself first. So for me, in my mind, I had to tell me to put you first. Like, you know, you don't have to answer the phone right now. You don't have to go if you really don't want to go. So I guess that's how I convinced myself to start being more proactive when I'm trying to do self-care. But like you said, that's a good point. You don't really even have to do it a whole hour. It could be starting like 10 minutes or 15 minutes a day where you just carve out and then just kind of build from there. So that's it.
So as you're talking, it's making me think, you know, another self-care thing that I think we don't often consider is that it's okay to not listen to other people's problems. I say that after venting this morning, but it is okay. You know, because it's hard to take on, you know, it's hard to deal with your own everyday issues and then to have to be the listening ear for somebody else. You know, it's okay sometimes, but all the time it can get to be a bit much. Draining. You know what I mean? So it's okay to tell people, you know what, right now I'm not in the space to, you know, or I have a lot going on, or you don't even say that at all. That's your business. You know, you don't really have to say anything. Just I can't do it right now.
So do you actually say that? Because that's something I'm still having to work on now.
Right.
It's
but
hard.
As you were talking, like I said, you know, I was like, when people call me, or, you know, I guess I should think about that too, what I'm letting off on somebody else when I am venting, you know, or going through something. You know, think about that other person and see, you know, you don't know their situation as much as you know, maybe you don't know the full everything, but think like, am I putting too much on this person? Like, am I laying my burdens on them? You know, is it going to be too much? Are they already dealing with something of their own?
That's good. I feel like we think like that, but a lot of people don't. They really don't care. All they feel is, hey, I need somebody to talk to and I need you to listen.
Like I said, I'm guilty. And that kind of, as you were talking, that made me think, you know, not just saying no to other people, but thinking about what other people might be dealing with before I let off whatever it is that I feel like I need to let off.
Oh, go ahead, Melissa.
I was going to say, I had something to add to that because me personally, I have actually cut off a good amount of people for doing that because when every time they called, they were venting and I couldn't do it. It was emotional. Like it was just so draining and I couldn't do it. And it eventually got to the point where I stopped answering phone calls, like their phone calls altogether because I already knew what they wanted. So with that being said, have y'all cut off people or, you know, just, I'm gonna fall back because they did that?
Yeah, that was.
I have tried. I have tried to cut them off, but I think my version of cutting them off was like you said. I stopped answering their phone calls, and I think it actually one person did get to the point that they apologized to me because they said that I just never knew that you were going through that. Because even if I am going through something, I still will take the time to try to help you, you know, as much as I could. So, but cutting them off completely, I think I'm too nice for that right now.
Yeah, but if you stop answering the phone calls, then eventually it'll probably lead to cutting them off completely, right?
So,
I feel like that's a passive aggressive way of doing things. I do not like that.
But it's whatever gets the job done.
I guess.
I mean, okay, but with that being said, how do y'all feel about telling people why y'all cut them off? Do y'all usually do that, or y'all just like they're done, blocked, ghosted? I don't care.
I would want somebody to tell me, but I feel like if I try to tell you, you will take it to be negative instead of fully understanding what I'm trying to express to you.
Right. It's like we want it, but we don't. It's not necessary. It's hard to do that.
So do you tell them, Melissa?
It honestly depends because I feel like if you've done something to me so many times, I don't owe you nothing. You know exactly what you've done to me. And I shouldn't have to explain myself. And that's kind of how I have to do people because they don't care about your feelings. Like you said earlier, they really don't care. Like,
and so
really
you don't feel guilty? Like,
nope.
I feel like if I do something or if I tell you no and I know I could have did it, like I'm gonna feel guilty about it. Like my conscience is gonna eat me up.
It's about protecting your peace. You have to look at it like that. Once you start looking at it differently, you'll be like, it's for me. Like I can't do it with them anymore. I promise.
Tell me how you do it. Pretend I'm the person you gonna cut out.
Okay,
Melissa, I really need to talk to you. Like, I'm so sick of him, girl. Like, he doing it again. Like, what do you think I should do? You think I should leave him this time?
I would say I have told you many times a solution, and at this point, you don't want a solution. You just want to keep.
That's why I'm asking you.
No, because I'm gonna say, okay, what do you think you should do then?
I mean,
right?
Change?
No. At that point, I would just say, I've already told you how to solve this problem, and you keep coming to me just to talk about it, and I can't talk about it with you anymore. So at this moment, I'm gonna have to remove myself from this friendship.
So will you hang up?
Yeah. It ain't nothing to say.
You like that?
What else is there to say?
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not like as blunt as Melissa, but I have told people that like we're not gonna be like cool anymore. But it was still more like a passive, polite
in a joking way.
It wasn't a joking way, it just wasn't me. Because I feel like I told you to Carl, I was telling you this about this guy that I was talking to, and I was like, yeah, I know it's not gonna work. And he kept calling me and he didn't.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
So I had to say, hey, things are not gonna go any further at this point. So I think you should stop calling because nothing's gonna happen. And he was like, but what about blah blah blah, what about blah blah? I said, no, it's not gonna happen. We're finished. He said, well, maybe about no. So then we hung up the phone. He texted me the next day, like, hey, you want to go get some ice cream? I said, yeah. What? I'm confused. Were you on the
And I think I told you to
today?
block him because.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have, but I would only say when I feel like it's a last resort. Like I tried ghosting him and over a time period, it didn't work. And so I was like, let me try the truth and see. But the point I wanted to say was sometimes we don't tell people the truth because also how they will respond. Like they will get mad at us telling them the truth or they'll turn it around and blame it on us and like it's the way we're looking at it. I was like, wait a minute, but you started this situation. How am I at fault for it? So I feel like it's a lot of reasons why we don't always tell the person the truth. And in those cases, for me, the self-care is just to ghost you. So instead of confronting you, because that's not going to resolve anything for me, it's going to make me more uneasy when I'm trying to get rid of that.
Yeah.
So what's the face for, Melissa?
Because I feel like why are you looking at it as a confrontation rather than, you know, they're probably going to need some type of closure. So this is your closure to them because this is what they need. Like you said, if they flip the script a lot, you shouldn't be friends with them no ways. So if they really need closure, I just feel like it's something to say. So you won't be like, oh, why did she do this? Keep trying to contact you and stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, just leave it alone. They know what happened.
Well, for me, it's more about like, what do I want to present for me as a whole? And it's like, well, let me try this, regardless of them or their personality. Let me try this and see what happens. And if I don't feel like, you know, it's going the way I want, then I'm like, okay, you have given me permission to be as dry and blunt and as straightforward and do whatever it is I need. So I think I still need permission sometimes to be more aggressive because I don't want to be aggressive to people, if that makes sense. So
Yes. And I
think
think
by nature, you're not an aggressive person. And so it takes more for you to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's how I am. I tend to treat people how I want to be treated. So it's kind of like, I don't want karma coming back on me because I treated you that way. Like, I remember the other day I was telling someone something, and yes, I was venting, and all they said was, okay, let me see. Have you seen this? Like, they changed the subject, and it made me feel horrible. So I'm like, I could have kept that to myself if you wasn't gonna say anything. So I feel like that's how you'll be, Melissa.
No. Like, if this is like somebody that does not do this a lot, of course I'm gonna be there for my friends. But if this is continuous, that's when I'll do that. I'm not a mean person, y'all. I'm not mean.
Well, y'all know who to come to if y'all need some advice. And
right.
actually, y'all came to like all of us. So we do have another question from one of y'all about advice, and it has to do with self-care. So thank you for writing in. And I'm going to read it so that we can give out some more advice from this person. So it says, basically, I love the show. Y'all are great. I'm struggling with caring about what other people think of me. I know I shouldn't care, but I do. Any tips will be helpful. Sign anonymous. So do y'all care what other people think about you? And like, if you do, or if you don't, like, how did you get to that? Have you always been like that? How are y'all with that?
I would say I don't care what people think anymore because they're going to talk about you regardless. That's the first thing. So you might as well be yourself. If you think like, I don't know, like if you are like, you know, the weird person, have whatever label, you know, you think you have or something like that. I feel like be yourself. If that's you, be yourself. Like they're going to say something regardless. People are not going to always like you. So you kind of just have to, you know, not care. Like, I feel like once you stop caring and you're able to move on with your life way easier because you're living your truth.
Excuse me. Yesterday, Crystal, you and I were talking, and I was like, I said, it's not our business what other people think of us. It really isn't. Like, that's, even though it is easy to say, but it's a hard concept to master, you know, but it isn't. Like, they're going to think what they, like you said, Melissa, they're going to think what they want to think. And, you know, I think sometimes, you know, I don't know if people look for validation from other people. And so that's why it matters so much, you know, what your response is from other people after you've done a certain thing, you know. And I mean, yes, of course, we care what our family thinks and what our children think of us. And, you know, but at the same time, that really should only go so far too.
Yep. And just to go into it a little further or in detail, when, like you say, it's not our responsibility to care what other people think of us. Like for me, a good example would be, it does not matter if someone thinks I'm lazy. If I want to go and take a nap, taking a nap is my business. If they have a problem with me taking a nap, like, that has nothing to do with me. That's their opinion. I want to go rest. I want to go do whatever it is. If I want to sleep in, if I want to go spend $1,000 on something that costs $10 and I overpay, that's my business. Like, if I want to not buy something that costs $10 because I want to be frugal, that's my business. So it's like, people are going to, like Melissa said, people are going to talk about you regardless, and whatever it is that they think, it's not our responsibility to provide a narrative in our own head to make us feel better. Oh, let me go help them out so they won't think I'm mean. Even though I don't want to, I just don't want them thinking that I'm mean. Nope. It doesn't matter what they think about you. They may be thinking that, oh, I know she's going to help me because she don't have the nerve to say no. What if that's the truth? Is that going to motivate you not to do it? Like, you have to live in your own truth and not worry about what other people tell you that you should or should not be doing, or what their opinion of you is, especially when they're not paying your bills, like they're not providing for you, they're not doing anything for you. So if they're not helping you in your day-to-day life, don't even think about it.
Right. So that's the thing. Like, you have to be at peace with you. You have to wake up with yourself every day. You go to bed with yourself every day. You know, even if you have a partner there, you are with yourself 100% of the time. So you have to be okay in your own mind with the decisions that you've made and the results that come from those decisions. You know, and stand on it no matter what. You know, that this is the decision that I made, and I will either reap the benefits or I will suffer the consequences.
And y'all are helping me, because I can honestly say I'm not 100% there yet, because I do sometimes, you know, I guess for me, I hate for anyone to be upset with me, or, you know, me to have any kind of drama or whatever with someone. So sometimes I will kind of take to heart what they say. But what I'm starting to learn in doing a little bit more self-care and taking time out for just me to focus on my thoughts, I'm starting to realize it's not that they don't like you. It's because they wish they were you. It's that they see something in you that they wish that they had, or, you know, that they kind of envy, or they sometimes see what you don't even see in yourself. Like, you know, sometimes we kind of downplay who we are. And I feel like the people that are, you know, putting their mouth on you, speaking, or making you feel any type of way, I think they see the light that you don't see. So for me, that's what I'm starting to learn. So it's just like, when I do have those days where I'm like letting words get to me, I just kind of replay that and like, you know what, maybe it's because I, you know what I'm talking about when I talk, or because I'm friendly, or because a lot of people come to me and you don't have nobody come to your door. So it's just like, I'm starting to try to figure out, you know, why are you feeling this way when, one, you don't really know who I am, you're just going by the outside. But if you had the shoes that I had, you wouldn't ever, you know, complain or even feel that, you know, you was less than, because you wouldn't want to be where I am.
Yep, that's
Wow.
one. That's 100%. I completely agree what you say. A lot of time people see things in us that we don't see in ourselves, and they make little comments. And those comments, I also learned, are, it's like, it gives them energy or motivation when they say something mean or negative to somebody else and they think that you're feeling sad. It somehow makes them feel better about themselves. So if you choose to be like, I'm not going to be your motivation to feel better about your life and about yourself. Yeah, I'm no longer opting into that.
That's true.
So now let's get into minding other people's business. And so today's topic is going to be about the plumber who found $600,000 in, I feel like it was like in a wall in Joel Osteen's church. So the church in Houston, Texas, he found $600,000, and he ended up turning the money in, and he got a reward for $20,000. So my question to y'all is, if you found $600,000, would you turn it in? Anybody?
No.
Do you
I
want
would
the
not be-
politically correct answer? Because sure, I turn up in $600,000.
I wouldn't. Y'all would not know I found it. Y'all,
They might get
gone.
550 or 500. They're not
It
getting the
depends
whole
on.
thing.
To me, it depends on how you found it. Like by being in the church, or I'm trying to think. What's another good place? Like a doctor's office, or if I was standing in line and I saw the person drop it, I would give it to them. Because to me, I feel like, you still gonna get blessed. So he could have took the money and, could have had a lot of bad luck after that. But instead, by him turning it in, you gained $20,000 that you didn't have. So to me, that was a blessing. But like, I mean, if it's just a random parking lot and I look down and see a $20, I mean, who I'm turning into? So
how you gonna get bad luck from some money nobody was looking for? It was in a wall.
But okay, so how did
somebody
he
had to
find
put it there though, right?
Right. So I'm minding my business and I'm gonna take that money. Ain't nobody gonna be. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I ain't seen nothing. I don't know.
Yeah. So I think the rest of the story is that it actually did belong to the church and they were missing it. So they say, and it had been missing for a while. A while was years on years on years. And so, yeah, so he just so happened to find it. My guess is that somebody stole it, put it there, they were going to come back and get it. And he found it before they were able to come back and get it. That's my guess. And so I say, yeah, I would have kept it too. Because like
the whole thing.
What if that was your blessing? Why would I give it back?
Exactly.
I mean, God was like, oh, I know she's going to be here at this time. And this is the only way she going to find it.
Divine timing.
So I'm setting this up for her. And I wish she would give it back.
But see, I guess in that case, I would think, like, how some people have those old houses and, it might have been abandoned for years or whatever, and the original owners were passed away and they cleaning out the attic and then they find the money in the attic. That maybe. But if the owner had just recently left, they might have forgot about that.
Well, thank you.
The house now. Yeah, I'm like Shanita in some ways. Like when it's like a person, like when I can attach something to somebody, I can't bring myself to being okay with like taking from them because I don't know what they had to go through in order to get it. But just there ain't no traceable something. Somebody wasn't like, hey, you got my 600. Like I said, I probably wouldn't take the whole thing. They might, get 75% of it.
No, because then you got to explain.
Right.
What I have to explain nothing. It was in a while. I found this.
That's true.
And then what if it was a hidden camera?
Well,
that's what I'm saying. Like it was in a wall. The wall.
But they see you pulling something out of the wall, and then they come and say, "What was that you pulled out the wall?"
I'm
saying,
what are you gonna say? I'm gonna be gone.
Yeah, I'm going to put this in the trash for you. You want me to charge you for me putting it in the trash for you? Because I could have left it here.
So what was it in? Do you know?
Oh, no, I don't know what it was in. But I'm pretty sure that it was like, I'm going to guess if it was in a wall, it wasn't like in a clear bag. I'm going
to a duffel bag or a black plastic bag or something like that.
That's what I was thinking, like a black bag. I don't know why.
Yeah, I feel like because it was found in a church, it would probably make some people feel more guilty about keeping it. But remember, Joel Osteen Church is like a mega church. They have like
plenty of money.
Right. So it's not like they are homeless. Like they make more money probably in a month than I make, in a year or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years. So.
Yeah, but I don't know. I couldn't. I don't think I could do it. And then I guess I'm thinking, like, what if this money was supposed to be for some little family and, now they...
And it's a church. They got a bank account, like many of them. Why would somebody be putting money in a wall unless it was for some kind of reasons that's somewhat on the shady side? Or it would just go in the bank.
That's weird, though. Because if you're putting that much money in the wall and it's been there for a while, what happened to the person that took the money? There you go, right there. See, he never made it back to get the money. And all y'all taking the money Now what's gonna happen?
Hey, that's like
See,
we
that's
said, that's a
prime
blessing.
example. The money was possibly stolen, but the thief couldn't get
Now
it.
then it's mine for sure. If it was stolen.
No. It could have
Y'all,
been a test.
all I'm gonna say is you and Mr. Carr keep saying, what if that was, what if somebody in need needed that? Or like what is that person going through?
What you say, you're
What
gonna
did
be in
you
need
go
too?
through? No, but what did you go through though? Like I feel like you should look at it like I deserve this. Yes, this is my money. Like
So
it's here
how
for a
long will
reason.
it take you before you spend it?
I'm gonna be out the country. They're not gonna find me. So I'm quitting that job right then. Clocking out. You will never see me again.
Okay.
And I say, if it makes you feel better, like find a family and give them some money.
Oh, there you go. Good deed right there.
So,
How much
I
you gonna
mean-
give them? $100?
$100.
no, I
You
don't
still
feel
got
guilty.
mine?
I'm not giving them any money. You feel guilty. You give them some of your money.
Oh wow.
I mean, I don't know. I may, end up giving someone something that like means something. I'm not gonna like just give it to somebody just because. Like if I come across somebody, I'm like, oh, this is a perfect situation, and it just so happened to be the right timing, then I definitely would. Because I'm like, why would I be blessed with something and this being my faith and not be able to give to someone else?
This might be off subject a little, but for me, what you just said, that's how I kind of feel about giving to charities. Like I see so many people with all this money giving to charities that always get the money, but you have people right in your own community or people that truly need it, but you overlook them because you want to, connect your name with giving this amount of money to it. But I'm like, to me, it matters more if you get the person that needed the most. Like one day it was one Christmas we did like homeless bags to people around town. And so everybody, they'll say thank you, they appreciate it. It was this one guy, and I would never forget it. He thanked us for every single thing in the bag. He was like, is this a shirt? I needed a shirt. Was this a bar of soap? I needed this. And to me, that will always, be in my memory because of how grateful he was for just a Ziploc full of bag full of stuff.
Yep. And for me, it's kind of like, I was like, when my work would do something where you give the entire year, and they wait to the end of the year, they would say, how much do you want out of your check to go towards this charity? And I got to a point where I was like, I don't want to do that because I don't know where their money is going to. Like, I would rather be like at the gas station and someone be like, oh, I need, some money, or can I have some gas? And I see that their car, like all of their belonging is in their car.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go and fill their tank up. I'm going to give them all the cash I got on me. Like that, I know where the money is going to. It's going to an actual person instead of a corporation where they're paying employees and giving money to whoever, who knows what. So for me, make it more realistic. If you want to give, like allow it to be realistic to me. That's how I see it.
But if it's a bag in a wall, you just keep it.
Yeah, full of money. Yes.
I mean,
I'm so
is there a homeless
fence.
person
I'm
standing
so
next
on
to it? What'd you say, Takara?
I said I'm so on the fence. I am, because in some ways I want to be great and wonderful and a good person like Shanita.
By the time you decided it'd been gone, Cruz and Elizabeth took it.
Yeah, like y'all could be standing there thinking, man, look, y'all could be our back.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if I was working there with somebody too, like we would have split it. Or if they ain't seen me grab that, I'm gone. Like I said, like if they ain't see it, they gonna be like, where did Melissa go?
Melissa ain't cut nobody in. She ain't saying nothing. She gonna leave the country.
Yes. Mama, of course you will get some. Granny will get some, but other than that, y'all not seeing me. I'll be gone.
Okay, so my question is, if you was working, even at the church, and you see this hole and this bag, why would you open it? Would you just automatically open it to see what it is?
Yes.
What if it was a body?
I'm calling the police then.
oh, you gonna turn the body in, but not the money. So what if it was the money on the body?
Y'all know how y'all was just talking about those charities? That's how I feel about a really big church. No, they don't need it. So to summarize everything we talked about today, we gave some tips on self-care, some ways we do self-care ourselves. If y'all need some advice from us, please send us an email at themelanatedopinion@gmail.com. Follow us on social media at themelanatedopinion.com, and our Twitter is themelanatedop. With that being said, we'll see y'all next week. Thank you so much for watching.
Bye.